Hello my dear friends, my name is Akash Malik and in this video we'll discuss the first lecture of our very first chapter, that is electrostatics. And without any further ado, let's start with the lecture. Thank you. Let's start with the first lecture of our electrostatics, and that is the first topic would be Coulomb's law. Alright, so just let's start with this Coulomb's law. Okay, let me write this heading. Coulomb's law. So basically what does it say? So it gives us the force between 2 point charges. Okay, so I'm gonna write the statement is, that is the force, ब्रैकेट में लिख देते हैं our electrostatic force is directly proportional to the product of what? The product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This was the statement. Okay, now what about the direction? So I'm gonna write the other point as the direction, and then I'm gonna write the mathematical representation of Coulomb's law. Okay, so the statement is the direction is, so this is the first case for same charges, same sign of charges. It is what? Repulsive. And for opposite sign charges, it is what? Attractive. Okay, I hope this point is clear to you. So now I'm gonna write the mathematical representation of our Coulomb's law. Okay, so the heading now will be mathematical representation of Coulomb's law. Okay, so the mathematical representation is, like, let us say this is our charge 1, which I'm gonna write as Q1, and this is my second charge, let us say Q2, and they both are positive in nature, and this is the line joining between them, and let us say the distance between them is small r. Okay, so the force acting on them will be in this direction, that is because they are both positive, so this will be the force acting on them, and I'm gonna write this force as force on 1. I'm gonna write force as 1, and because of 2. Okay, this force will be 2 due to 1. Okay, so we have force due to force on 1 due to 2 and force on 2 due to 1. They both are equals to, let us say, F. Okay, so this force will be proportional to the product of charges, and this force will be inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. If I combine both of these equations, I'll get force is proportional to Q1 Q2 by r square. Okay, and if I remove this sign of proportionality, I will get force is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square, and sometimes this is represented as small k q1 q2 over r square. Okay, here this k is a constant and this epsilon naught is a very important term. which is known as permittivity of free space. I hope this point is clear, and its value is 8.85 into 10 raised to the power minus 12, and the unit will be this is Newton meter square per coulomb square. I hope this point is clear. Okay, so this is the basic mathematical representation of our Coulomb's law. Now what if I say I need to find this vector form of this Coulomb's law? So the next point will be nothing but vector representation of Coulomb's law. Let us go to the next page and then discuss it. So it will be vector representation of this Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. So first of all, let's see this. Let's draw this diagram again. This is Q1, this is Q2, the distance between them was R, and now this is the line joining both of them, both of the charges, and this is the force. Let us say this is force vector. So in this case, as I told you, the force will be repulsive. It means it will act outward. So I can just write force vector as the magnitude of force into r cap. This is this r distance, and unit vector along this for this segment will be r cap. So it will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square multiplied with r cap. And if I just write it in a more simplified way, it will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r cube multiplied with r vector, because as we know, this r cap is r vector divided by magnitude of that vector. So these are the three forms which you must keep in mind for solving the problems. So I'm just gonna highlight them. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight them with a color, let us say yellow. Okay, this is gonna highlight like this. Okay, just to remember this. Okay, so I hope this point is pretty much clear to you, and the most important thing you have to keep in mind over here is that the charges must be put with sign. The charges must be put with sign. Which sign means if a charge is positive in nature, then you will use plus, and if the charge is negative in nature, you will use minus. So I hope up till here there was no doubt. This was basic, very fundamental Coulomb's law, and now we're gonna discuss a few problems based on this Coulomb's law. So let's move ahead and do our very first problem of Coulomb's law. So the problem here is that let us say we have this system of charges. So before telling you this, I'm just gonna I'm gonna tell you a very important point, that whenever there are many charges, let us say this is charge q1, this is q2, and this is q3. So the force between them now, let us say this is the force. The force between q1 and q3 will be independent from this charge q2. So this thing is called as the principle of superposition. Okay, this is principle of superposition, that the force between any two charges is independent of the third charge or any other charge present in the environment. So just based on this concept, we will do a problem, and the problem is a kind of we have a triangle like this, and the vertices, on the vertices of this triangle, let us say the triangle is an equilateral triangle. Okay, this is, let us say, charge q1, and let us say all are q only. This is q, q and q. Okay, and just let me erase so that there would be no confusion on this topic. So all charges are q and it is an equilateral triangle. Okay, equilateral triangle of side A. So I'm saying that we place a charge of magnitude q1 on this centroid. Okay, and I'm asking you the net force on q is equals to what, and for direction, assume this is x and this is y. So just pause your videos and just solve it on your own, and if you face any problem, we'll solve it together. So I hope until now you have solved it. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw this and this. So we have this side as a, this would be perpendicular, so this distance will be a by 2. This angle is 30 degree, and if we say this is r, so this r can be written as what? Just see this right angle triangle, it will be a by 2 upon r will be the cos of 30 degrees. Okay, so a by 2r will be root 3 by 2. So from here we get r as a by root 3. I just solved it so that you could understand the topic, you don't face any doubt in solving this problem. So we have this r. Okay, so I'm just gonna make only the FBD of our charge q1. So this is our charge q1, just I'm gonna magnify it. Okay, and along a perpendicular direction, this q1 is experiencing a force. Let us say this force is due to A. Okay, this is Fa, and all will be equal because r is equal and the charges are equal. So it is Fa, and for this we have this as our Fb and this as our Fc. Now if I ask about what will be the angles, okay, so for angles I'll say that this angle is 30 degrees. Okay, so this angle is what? Also 30 degree, and this angle will also be 30 degrees. So I can write as this 2fc, this sine of 30 degrees minus fa, or f basically, it will be in fy, and in the x direction the net force will be cancelled out. So this, if you see, this sine theta is also 1 by 2, so fy is also 1 by 0, and that is equals to fx. So this is an important concept you have to keep in your mind. So the next question what I'm gonna do is this. Let us say I have placed a charge over here and another charge over here. Okay, and let us say the distance between them is 2a. So if I draw perpendicular, it will be small a and this will be small a. Okay, so what if I say that I place another charge of, let us say, same magnitude, that is q, but in opposite in sign, minus q, at a distance of a, okay, over here. Okay, so what would happen now? it will be attracted by this both of these charges. Okay, it's your homework. Okay, for today it's your homework. Tomorrow we'll start our lecture with this only. So this is charge, it will be attracted by both of them. So my question is, will the charge perform SHM? This is the first question. If yes, then find the time period. This is my question to you. This is your homework. Solve it, and tomorrow's lecture will start with here only. Thank you.